It is the evening of Wednesday, January 22nd, and I did not do an update yesterday. I was kind of exhausted after my 2 doctor's appointments yesterday. So first up, the staples came out, all but I think they left 5 in, and it really was not bad at all. I got myself all worked up because I thought it was going to be as bad as it was when they took them out of my knee. And it was nothing compared to that. There were a couple that pinched a little bit, but nothing like I thought it was going to be, which is great. They left about 5 in on the incision, the staple up of where the ostomy was, because the ostomy is a round hole that they cut, and then they have to flatten it and turn it into an incision that is a straight line. And so there's a lot more tension on it, which is why they had the more staples. And then also they don't heal quite as well because of the tension. So I left them on until next Tuesday, and I'll go get those out then. That was my last really good pain pill that I took that morning, and that may have helped as well. But now I'm just back on Tylenol, and I am alternating that with Advil. So when Tylenol gets broken down in your liver, and the Advil gets broken down someplace else, I don't remember. So I'm also, instead of doing it every 6 hours, I'm down to twice a day. So there's a little bit more pain before I take it again, but I'm just really trying to I'm just really trying to get some of that stuff out of my body, because it can't be good being on this stuff for 2.5 weeks at this point, or 2 weeks at this point. So that went well. At the doctor's appointment with oncologist, we got some really good news. At least I think it's really good news. At this point, I'm basically on hiatus. I'm not going to do radiation, not doing chemotherapy. I'm just on vacation from all of that until stuff flares up and we need to go back in again. They got all of the tumor out around the colon, but they did take lymph nodes around from the colon area, and we knew it would be in there, and there was cancer. They took out 16 lymph nodes, and 3 of them had cancer, and that's not a surprise since it had moved into the liver. That's how it gets there. So that's good, though, that they pulled all those out, and that's a good thing. So there are still liver lesions, or basically little tumors on the liver. Those responded well to chemo, but at this point, and plus because I'm still healing from the surgery, we wouldn't do any radiation or anything. I will go in. They did blood tests. They'll do my cancer marker. I should probably know about that tomorrow. But that's actually just, they won't even pay attention to that cancer marker, because when they were in doing the colon surgeon, my oncologist said that actually flares up cancer marker numbers. And so it's not a legit number. So it could be high, and it's not really legit. So I'll go back in again in 3 weeks, do blood tests. And then I'm going to do a CT scan in mid-March. So just take a look at everything. And as long as my blood tests, then I'll go back monthly for blood tests. And as long as my blood tests or my cancer marker don't go up, if they stay within the 3, 5, even 8 range, he feels comfortable with that. But if it shoots up to 20 or 25, then we most likely will go in and do the Y90 procedure, actually. And not the ablation radiation or the blast radiation that we talked about, but they would probably go straight to the Y90. And then may mix a little bit of chemo in there as well if needed. And then basically that's just kind of how I go for the rest of my life. I just go in. Right now it's monthly. They may move that to like every 3 months if the tests keep coming back good. But they do know that there is, even if my numbers went up and I went in and I got the Y90 and they, killed off the little tumors that are on the liver, there are still little micro bits of cancer floating around, because it did get into the lymph nodes. That's not right. The lymph nodes. So there are, little cells of cancer floating around in my body. And so really, he does not, in the stage that I'm at, because it went to stage 4, doesn't really ever tell a patient they're cancer free or that it's in remission, because he knows that it may not be testing right now, but it is still in there floating around somewhere. And at some point it's going to glob onto something and it's going to start again. So that's kind of a bummer, that I wouldn't really hear those words. But as long as my tests keep coming back okay, then I don't have to do chemo or radiation. And if it does, then it's just, we'll catch it at a really, really early stage and get it handled right away. And it'll be, a lot less than what I've had to go through to get this, first initial diagnosis to where I'm at. So that's all good news. I'm still the surgery is still taking way longer than I thought, but I'm right on track of where I should be, the surgeon said. She said, give it like another week. That was on Tuesday. And I should be feeling much better. And I'm already feeling, I can tell at night. Last night I didn't feel so good, but I did a lot yesterday, walking up and down the stairs, walking into the office, sitting at the doctor's offices. So I did a lot of movement, and by last night I was in some pain. But then when I woke up this morning, I felt a whole lot better. So that level of pain that I had last night is not the level of pain I feel without having medication. It's just because I moved around a lot, and that will continue to get better and better as everything heals. So I'm hoping that by the first part of next week, I'm kind of back on schedule, at least being able to go to meetings and stuff like that. I had about out of a couple of meetings today because I can drive, but just the thought of driving for an hour to get to the meeting and then sitting for an hour and then driving back, it just, that did not sound like that was a really good idea. So hopefully here quickly, I will be feeling even much better. Every day it's a little bit better. So all news was good news, or all the news we got was good news. So that's good. Now I just need to finish healing and get back to normal, or as normal as I normally am. All right, have a good night.